The game you are about to watch is abject nonsense. There is no universe in which I should have won this match, and yet I do, with a solo warrior and a kraken to boot. Sorry for the spoiler, but I think my thumbnail and title probably already did that. In any case, we'll be talking a little bit about the brand new premium Tier 8 cruiser for the USN Navy, USS Salem. Honestly, there's not too much to say about this ship. It is available for steel now in the Forge. The cost is $25,000, which, a little bit less than the original price of the Missouri when it first debuted. But the Salem is, like the Missouri, a copy-paste of a ship we already have. Missouri is essentially an Iowa with radar. Salem is essentially a Des Moines with a super heel, a tier lower. There are not many differences between the Salem and Des Moines. It's got a little bit less HP, 44,700, compared to the Des Moines 50-point-something K. It's also got a heal that, you could consider it a super heal. It restores 893 HP per second, compared to the Des Moines, which restores only 252 per second. So a lot more healing potential on this thing. The radar is also a little bit different from the Des Moines. It's got a 40-second duration, but it's only got an 8.5-kilometer range, so a little bit less powerful, but you get the super heal as sort of a compensation for that. We're not going to be able to use the super heal to its fullest potential in this match, unfortunately, but you will see as we take some damage that we're able to restore more HP than a regular cruiser could. Also, if you look at the consumables, it's got 3 charges with fully packed of the heal, the radar, and defensive AA. But unlike most ships, you cannot switch the DFAA consumable for hydroacoustic search. Instead, you would have to switch the radar consumable to that, which I don't think is a good trade at all. Radar is more powerful than hydroacoustic search by far, so we're sort of stuck with the heal, the radar, and defensive AA, and no sonar. But other than that, the guns are essentially exactly the same as the Des Moines. They do the same damage, have the same reload and range. The concealment is the same, maneuverability is the same. AA might not quite be the same, but it's pretty similar. And of course, you have the defensive AA consumable, which will help you take down some planes. In any case, honestly, that's really all you need to know about the Salem. If you like the Des Moines, then this ship is going to perform quite well for you. If you're not interested in the Des Moines, then maybe the 25,000 steel is a bit too much. Although I would say this is worth it, because this ship is pretty fantastic. In any case, you will notice that we are not in a full match. That is because, most likely, somebody on either the blue or the red team turned off crossplay, so we're playing with only PlayStation players. And I think the thought process behind turning off crossplay goes something like this. I am a potato, and this game is hard for me to play because there's lots of boats. So if I turn off crossplay, there are going to be fewer boats, which is going to make it easier for me to deal damage, rack up XP, and all that good stuff. Easier for me to have an impact on the battle because I am a terrible potato that cannot function in 9v9. Well, that is true to some extent. If you reduce the number of ships in a battle, it does make it easier for a single individual ship to have more of an impact. But if you're doing that, counting on it to be you, you better hope that you are a good player. If you're not, it really doesn't matter that there are fewer ships, okay? And I'm not implying that I'm like the best player in World of Warships Legends ever. I would never say that. I think I'm pretty good at this game, but I'm certainly no super unicum or anything like that. In any case, things are off to a bit of a rocky start. We've lost a battleship and a destroyer, both of whom were on the flank I am currently sailing toward. I'm sailing toward the flank because the rest of my team is concentrated into one place on the map, and the ships that took out our friendly destroyer and battleship over on this side are going to be pushing toward our base. In fact, I'm sure one of the enemy destroyers has already done that. Thankfully, our last remaining friendly destroyer, the Gearing, who you might have noticed laid a smokescreen for my benefit in the beginning and allowed me to farm like 50k off a Montana pushing in, he's also back inside of the cap to try and help defend it from the encroachment of the enemy Shimakaze, who is, I think, outside of the cap. You can see the RPF indicator pointing right toward our compass at the bottom of the screen. So he's clearly gone around, and actually now I think he's inside of the cap. He does manage to hit us with one widespread torpedo, and you can kind of see the healing potential there in effect as we deploy our first heal. There, though, is a Brindisi, who has us dead to rights if his guns are reloaded and he's got AP in the barrels. But he doesn't shoot at us. I don't know if he's on cooldown for his reload or what, but we're able to angle before he gets the AP salvo into our broadside, so it does not hit our Citadel and does minimal damage. We score a Citadel on him as he turns in, and we're going to switch to the HE to melt him down if he wants to stay angled. But he doesn't stay angled. Instead, he decides to give us more broadside, and, well, if you've ever played the Des Moines, giving broadside to it in a cruiser is a death sentence. This AP is the super heavy American AP with improved penetration angles, so it has absolutely no problem finding the Brindisi's Citadel and taking him down for our first kill of the game. Unfortunately, the Brindisi does take down the Gearing, so that leaves us alone inside of the capture circle with no hydroacoustic search versus the Shimakaze, who's hidden inside of a smokescreen. So we instantly change course in order to avoid any torpedoes he may have launched, and we silence our guns so that we are not spotted by him. Now we're going to be able to push into his smokescreen while he's blind, and hopefully we'll be able to catch him and sink him, and then turn around and try to help our team with the rest of the game. We've got only a battleship and cruiser left, and they're fighting 2 Woosters, an A-Gear, and I think another Shimakaze, so they need some assistance if we can provide it, but obviously we have to take out this Shimakaze so he does not take our base. He is stopping our accrual of points, though, so the enemy team has overtaken us on points, and of course they've overtaken us on ships sunk. In any case, we dodged the Shima's torpedoes, we're able to take him out, and that clears the threat to our base, so we'll be able to turn around now. And this is where I was sort of thinking everything is hopeless. There's 7 minutes left to go in this match. Our battleship has basically no health left. And the cruiser, even though it is in Alaska, he's not going to be able to stand up to the sustained DPM of 2 Woosters and also have to deal with an A-Gear and potentially a Shima alone. So, yeah. By the way, these two are making a cardinal error in World of Warships Legends. Light cruisers like the Wooster, with high amounts of DPM and floaty shells, are most effective when you are pushing into them. They become least effective when you are kiting away from them. If you are in a battleship and you push into HE spam, like our battleship did, you are going to sink. That's how it works. HE spam is a thing that stops you from pushing just like torpedoes do. You cannot push into it. You have to approach it from other angles. The same is true if you're in Alaska. And like the friendly battleship, the Alaska is also pushing straight into both of the Woosters, the A-Gear, and the Shima. The Shima is, of course, probably spotting the Alaska for the benefit of his cruiser teammates, and they're all shooting at the Alaska. I think the only reason they haven't taken him down yet is because he's bow onto them and they're shooting AP, which is going to become a little bit of a theme here on the part of these 2 Woosters. But they've switched to HE, so they're going to be able to melt him quite quickly here. And as soon as he goes down, we're going to be alone versus 4 ships who all only have us to shoot at. We're on a little bit less than half health as the Alaska goes down, and now it's time for the Wooster and the Shima and the A-Gear, wherever he is, to start focusing us. So we turn away. We're not going to make the same error as the Alaska and the battleship. We're not going to sail straight into 2 Woosters. They will just melt us if they switch to HE. Instead, we're going to turn into a kiting position because it looks like all 3 of these ships are sailing toward us. Obviously, we're the last ship left alive. There's 5 minutes left to go in the game. They think, how hard can it be? We can sink a single cruiser. But can they? Well, here comes one of the Woosters. He's just pushing straight bow into us. We're shooting him with the HE. And of course, the HE is able to penetrate his armor pretty much everywhere, not to mention it can start fires. Should be able to melt him quite easily. We notice the Aegir shooting at us. He has almost no HP left, so we're going to focus him a little bit, give a shot to that Wooster there just to sort of spread the love. And we notice as our shells fall on the Aegir, they light a fire, which he promptly DCPs. So that means we're going to try to get a follow-up fire on him while his damage control party is on cooldown. If we light a fire, it could very well be lethal. And what do you know? We get a fire there with the very next salvo, which continues to burn on the Aegir. That's when Wooster comes out from behind the island. He's giving us a little bit of broadside, so of course we're going to switch to the Salem's excellent armor piercing in order to try to take advantage of that, but the Wooster decides, well, broadside is a bad idea, let me angle a little bit, so we'll just switch straight back to the HE as our fires take down the Aegir for our third kill of the game. This Wooster is on almost no HP. I think he realizes it. He could, if he wanted to, just stop shooting and go dark and survive for the rest of the battle, but no. Instead, he decides to point his bow at us, make sure he can only use 4 out of his 12 guns, and continue to fire AP, which is very ineffective considering we're angled. They can penetrate the superstructure, I guess, a little bit, but they're not going to be scoring any citadels or critical damage. They really should be shooting HE. But they're not, so one of the Woosters goes down for our 4th kill of the game. That leaves the last remaining Wooster, who does have a fair amount of HP, and of course the Shimakaze, who any minute is about to get into our base. Obviously, the enemy team is far ahead of us on points, and all these guys really need to do is take a look up at the scoreboard, acknowledge the fact that they are ahead, and then they don't have to do anything. They could run away, sail into the sunset. I'd never be able to catch them in 3 minutes and sink both of them if they were running away from me. There's no reason for them to get into our cap. There's no reason for them to be sailing into me and gifting themselves to me on a silver platter. But they are, so thank you, Wooster, for your donation of hit points, thanks to the other Wooster and thanks to the Aegir. In any case, this Wooster realizes, well, he screwed up. He's about to sink. And, oh my god, there's a torpedo very close to us. Are we able to dodge? Yes, as it just scrapes the paint on the stern there. But we're alive. 10,000 HP left. Wooster on almost no HP. He's starting to reverse now, which is throwing off our aim ever so slightly. We'll adjust, and it'll only take a couple shells to send this guy to Davy Jones' locker. There, we hit him for 760. He's probably got like 3 HP left. Well, 258. He goes down, Kraken unleashed. 2 minutes left to go in the game. 191,000 damage done in a game without 9 ships. That just leaves the Shimakaze inside of our base. We deploy the radar too early, though. Remember, it's only got an 8.5 kilometer range, and the Shimakaze is outside of it. We sail into radar range and spot the Shima with 15 seconds left to go on the radar. He's a little bit above half health, so I don't think we're going to be able to finish him off quite yet here, but we're going to push straight into the cap, because at this point, I am thinking there's no way. There's absolutely no way I'm going to end this game with a 6-pack and solo warrior. No way. The enemy team could have won this at so many points in time if they had just done nothing. Haven't you ever watched Jingles and listened to his sage advice to not try to win harder? Well, if you do, sometimes you can find yourself in a game of throws, like the red team here. And as you can see, I'm trying to blind fire this Shima. There's only less than a minute left to go, so he really has to die if we're going to win. I can't seem to find where he is or hit him. So at this point, I'm going to, I think, silence my guns and try to go dark. Shima has already tried and failed to torpedo us. I don't know whether he's got any left, but as we get close enough to the smoke screen, we are able to pinpoint his location and hit him with 3 shells. We spot him, proxy spotting, with less than 30 seconds left to go, and take him out as our 6th and final kill, earning us the solo warrior and the 6-pack. So you can see, there's really no universe in which I should have won that. The enemy team essentially gifted that to me on a silver platter. Do not push your woosters into a Salem at the end of the game when you've got the win. Otherwise, you might gift the enemy Salem 4,200 base XP and, a Kraken and Solo Warrior. Salem, though, great ship, expensive to get for steel, but I think it's worth it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If so, give it a thumbs up, consider subscribing if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.